welcome everybody who's come for the, travelled here or living here and doing the retreat. Fantastic, really great that you're here. And I hope the retreat goes well, really well. And I'm not going to ask how many of you are going to be doing the overnight sitting, just in case you commit and then you're sorry. But should I do the talk first and then you say your thing at the end? Yeah. Okay. So tonight I wanted to talk about. Well, let me just say why I wanted to do this koan. It's Hogen's "You Are Echo." I'll explain in a second, but it seems to me that a retreat to the city, in a way, is the perfect synthesis or combination of form and emptiness and form, relative and absolute. Right in the city with it all going on, and we're practicing the experience of emptiness, maybe, or maybe not, however your sitting's going. But the retreat does seem to me to be a wonderful synthesis of the practice. We're doing both, and that's what this koan represents for me, which is why I chose it. So the koan is this: echo. I think you say echo. It's E-CHO. If anybody knows any better, but we'll say echo. It's easy to say. Echo asked Hogen, "What is Buddha?" And Hogen said, "You are Echo." So, what is Buddha? Echo said to the teacher, Hogen. And Hogen replied, "You are Echo." So, what I wanted to ask you is, first of all, what does he mean? What is it? What is a Buddha? I mean, you could have asked him. He could have asked you, and he could have said, "You, John," or "You, Ishin," or "You, Yosa," or "You, Joe. You are Buddha." But what does it mean? I don't know. What does it mean? Something else I wanted to talk about a bit later was, I also really want to feel really free to answer any of these questions. Not to fear any kind of failure, because I really like it when you respond. And to me, when you respond, when you say something, it's indicative that you've hung your ego up at the door. You're not that worried about what people think of you, or whether you're right or whether you're wrong. So I encourage you to respond. So when I say to you, what does he mean? You are a Buddha. What does that mean? Isn't there any answer to this? I haven't got the answer. I'm just curious about what you think. I mean, it comes up all the time. You are a Buddha, yeah?
When you said that, I was immediately reminded of the first two lines of Hakuin's Song of Zazen. Is it Hakuin who wrote Song of Zazen? That's in the Sutra book now. From the beginning, all beings are Buddha.
Okay.
And the other translation is all beings by nature are Buddha.
Okay.
As ice by nature is water.
Okay, but what does it mean to be a Buddha?
Well, this is what I think is such a silly thing, because it makes a lot of sense to somebody in the Far East. But to me, to be honest, it rubs me up the wrong way a little bit.
Oh, does it? Do you feel uncomfortable being a Buddha?
Well, I think we should all take those first two lines as a sort of a koan, and we don't even do the sutra, actually, by the way, which I wish we did.
Well, let's get back to this koan.
Yeah.
This koan is, Echo said, "What is Buddha?" And Hogen said, "You are Echo." What does that mean?
Did Ishin say the second line is "as water is ice"?
Let's stay with this koan, can we?
Well, I kind of like that.
Do you?
As water is ice and ice is water.
Okay.
They are and they aren't, and they are and they need work and they don't, and
okay.
That's sort of.
So is that what Emma feels like? given that you are Buddha?
Well, I suppose for me, it's another sentence that equally has a million different meanings. And
What about Emma?
what does it? Sometimes yes, sometimes no, sometimes work in progress, sometimes
Okay.
definitely not.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you. Andy, Buddha?
There's a thing in this about a comma.
A comma?
A comma, yeah, because Echo says, what is Buddha? And either Hogen says, you are
Yeah.
Echo, or he says, you are Echo.
Yeah.
And then the two are kind of...
Oh, he says you are Echo.
Yeah, but he could say, you are, comma, Echo. In other words, you're a Buddha, or is it, you are Echo?
Yeah.
Oh, I've got you.
Same thing.
Very good, very good.
That's
Okay,
another-
we can move on to that in a little while. You being our editing expert, noticing the comma. It's good, it's true, it's good, it's a good point. So your point is you, comma, are Echo,
Yeah.
or you are Echo. Like you are Andy. Okay.
Same.
Pardon?
It's the same.
What's the same?
Comma or no comma.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay, so he says, what is Buddha? And Hogen says, you are Echo. Why is it the same? Why is, well, if I said to you, Clive, you are Clive, and then I said to you, you are Buddha, how would you feel about that? Would there be any difference?
No, because ultimately, we take all this stuff to be real, the Clives and echoes and things, and so they are in one sense, but they're transitory. They come and they go, they reform and so on and so forth.
Yeah.
But the Buddha bit is what's driving the whole shebang.
Okay.
And so, whether
So
you
is
call that or not-
there a difference then if I say to you, you are a Buddha, you are Buddha, and you are Clive?
Well, there is and there isn't. There is in one sense that we can get caught up in that. Ultimately, who is Clive?
I give in.
He has to be all the stuff that he thinks he is, you know.
Okay.
Probably
Okay.
doesn't amount to much. With the Buddha bit, that doesn't start and doesn't finish.
But when you go to John Lewis to buy your fridge or whatever, and they say, who are you? And you say Buddha, they probably wouldn't deliver the fridge. You have to say, I am Clive. I am Clive.
But what if you had a credit card?
If you had a credit card for sure, yeah. But knowing the business Clive's in, he'd probably have cash, you know.
Credit card.
I'm only teasing, of course, if it's on record. but you see, there is as you say, it is and it isn't. But there is a difference because you need the moniker to function.
Yeah.
So you need the relative, the idea of the relative, as you say, impermanent Clive, alongside the you are Buddha.
Because I can see that if he went up to the teacher and said, yeah, love is one, I'm the universe, he'd be like, no, you're Echo.
That's right. Yeah. Okay. So, but when Andy pointed out that you could say you are Echo without the comma, and I could say you are Andy. What is this saying about each of us' situation? What is the unique situation each of us is in? I mean, we have this common situation where we're all Buddha. We're all manifesting Buddha nature. We're not. Well, we are it. You know, we're I'll talk about it. But yeah, but also we are also uniquely who?
The honoured one.
No. Oh well, I mean, in your case, yes, it's true. You are the honoured one. But in ordinary everyday intercourse with the world, you're known as Jez, aren't you?
Yeah.
Is that right?
So Jez is
okay.
one.
Okay. So, who else can you be but Jez?
Yeah.
Who else can you be but Echo? Now, what is it that most of us, for a lot of our lives, do rather than be who we are.
Wear masks.
Pardon?
Wear masks and hide.
Masks, yeah, we do the business of fitting in, of accommodating, of being appropriate to the situation, which is not wrong, but we also, a lot of us, we're not exactly who we are. We think there may be some other option. There may be, we could live in some other skin, but we can't. We can only live in our own skin. We can only be who we are. And I think, if we really take that on board, and I think a lot of people resist taking it on board for a lot of the time of their lives, but when we finally take it on board, doesn't it offer freedom? Because you know what you've got now. You can work with it. Before, what you thought you had was just a front. But now you've really taken on board that you are you, that you're uniquely you, and also you're Buddha. And how is that? I mean, he didn't, when he said to Echo, he didn't say to Echo, you're tall Echo, or small Echo, or handsome, or ugly, or he just said, quite simply, you are Echo.
If you're not sure who you are, just being yourself can be quite scary if you spend
Yeah.
time being what's expected, or what your parents wanted, or something else, or who you think you should be. Actually, if you don't know, I don't know who I am, then agreeing to be me is kind of a bit of an unknown.
Okay. So it's something you need to kind of find your way to fitting into. Or
I'd like to know what it was going to be like before I agreed to it.
But you don't really have a choice anyway.
Oh yeah, I know.
you're not suffering from multiple personalities, are you?
No.
Okay. But I think we all agree that we don't have any choice, do we? This is what we've got. This is the vehicle that we have.
We can't be anything other.
Pardon?
We could put the Buddha part to one side and just be the I am. There's no way out of that, is there?
No.
And yet, you said before that we spend the whole time not being ourselves. So
No, I didn't say we do all the time.
No,
I said that,
yeah.
a lot of us, some of the time, are avoiding manifesting our real nature because for all the reasons that we all know, that we might embarrass ourselves, or we might embarrass somebody else. We might let the world see something that we're nervous of being accepted by, and also by sustaining this kind of veil over who we are, we stay safe. It allows us not to take any risks. Keeps us down. So
I think what Hogen said was just wonderfully liberating, because to me it cuts through all this crap, just as Keith said, it cuts aside this Buddha business, this aspiration that we have to be something, to appear to be something, to be a Buddha. And he cuts through all that crap and says, you're Echo. Be Echo. Who else are you going to be but be that? It just cuts right through.
And you said it so succinctly, and at the same time, it's not easy, is it?
Because we always want to be.
Because it would be nice sometimes to be somebody else.
Since we have to ask that question, do you think? I mean, the very fact, that I sit, I take that question head on. What is Buddha?
Yeah.
But I think sometimes, I kind of go around in circles thinking, what is it? When I'm looking for, books or things outside of.
What would it mean for you if you really, really knew that you are it? How would that feel? What would change?
think I'd act in a way that was more compassionate to other people, I think, because I know that they were it too, and
yeah. But the scary thing about really taking it on board is you now know that you're responsible. There's nobody else responsible, only you, for everything.
No one else to blame.
No one else to blame, no. There's no passing the buck. There's no one thing to pass it to. So it's a thing that we would happily avoid if we could. Okay, let me read you the verse. The verse is interesting. You can help me with the verse, because I don't actually agree with the verse, but the interpretation of the verse that's in the literature. So the verse is, this is Secho's verse. He always gives a verse at the end. In the land of the river, faintly stirring the gentle breeze of spring, far away, deep among blossoms, the partridge sings. Ascending the falls, the calf became a dragon. Yet still by night, fools fish for him below. Okay, I know this all sounds a bit obscure, and does it? I mean, unless anybody here has immediately got a handle on it, I'll read it again. In the land of the river, faintly stirring the gentle breeze of spring, far away, deep among blossoms, the partridge sings. Ascending the falls, the carp became a dragon. Yet still by night, fools fish for him below. Now, I could ask you what you understand by that, and if you know it, I'd be very impressed. Because certainly the last four lines, you'll need some backdrop information. But did anybody have a sense of what that's to do with the koan?
Is the dragon your own true nature?
Pardon?
Is the dragon your own true nature?
No.
No.
It seems to be an element of the fishermen are looking in the wrong place. In that they're fishing below when the carp has turned into a dragon and
going
up
above.
the
Yeah.
I'm not quite sure how that fits with
There's
the
something
koan.
happening there.
Yeah.
It's a bit like Nasrudi looking for his keys under the light when he's lost them somewhere else, but he's...
Okay. Let me just... We haven't got a lot of time, so let me just say what the first four lines, and I wouldn't have guessed this, allude to the two spheres of the mind, the relative and the absolute. So, faintly stirring the gentle breeze of spring, far away deep. So, each of them has two different, kind of like far away, deep among blossoms. That is the absolute. The partridge sings. That is the relative. So, in the sutras we talk about light and dark. So the light is the relative, and the dark is the absolute. Because in the dark everything's the same. There's no difference in height. Good, bad, right. Well, in the dark you can't see, so that's the metaphor for you. So that's what it's used for, and for me that reflects the echo is both echo and the Buddha, which is what we've been talking about. But the second verse is a bit more interesting, where he says. So I'll read to you Sakida's commentary on what this means, because I didn't know what it meant. He says. An old legend refers to Emperor Gyo, who harnessed the Yellow River. When he cut into the high cliffs to let the river through, he created 3 terraced waterfalls. These waterfalls were called the Dragon Gate. When spring came, thousands of carp gathered below the falls, but only the strongest were able to get to the top and become dragons and rise to heaven. Okay, so you got, so you know, the ordinary picture of it is he's cut into the cliff, he's created a waterfall, there are 3 terraces, in the spring, all the carp are in the below, and the strongest ones get to the top, and metaphorically they're the dragons who go to heaven. Okay, and then the ascent of the carp was used as a metaphor to describe passing the very severe government examinations, but in this case, Setcho applies the metaphor to Echo, who attained enlightenment, as Hogen's words. So these carp, the strongest ones that make it and sent to heaven as dragons, they're symbolic of Echo's breakthrough. So what does he mean by, yet still by night, fools fish for him below?
I'm still looking for him in the relative.
Yeah.
Still looking for this true nature.
Still looking for the carp down in the pool.
Down in the murk.
In the murk. When in fact, if they're going to experience the heaven, the dragons, they've got to go up the waterfall. So, the message I take out of this is don't just stand there, get going. I mean, don't just hang about. I mean, it's fine to hang about, but also you've got to get going as well. So in all these things, there's the 2 sides, you know. You can be fine, but you've got to get going.
Don't go fishing at night.
Pardon?
Don't go fishing at night.
Don't go fishing at night, yeah. So, I did want to talk about something else, but I'm going to leave it. Maybe until tomorrow. But it ties in with why is it that a lot of the time a lot of us don't just get going? What stops us normally? Fear, yeah, normally. Somewhere down there. Fear of something. Failure, often, or embarrassment. Success even, yeah, exactly, yeah, I've forgotten that one as well, yeah. Fear of success, yeah, and all that brings the responsibilities of it, and yeah.
Also, those carp have to climb, have to jump up some pretty steep
through each terrace they
You
go.
see a few of them falling down, you might think, oh, bugger this.
Yeah, I don't think I'll go for that one. Yeah, I think I'll hover in the pool. Yeah, that's right. That's true. And that's what we do, isn't it? And it's okay. Sometimes sometimes we need to swim around in the pool. Yeah. Okay. Well, I know a lot of you have travelled today, and you will all probably be quite tired. And I know also on the first night of a retreat, when you're not sleeping away from home, often it's quite difficult to sleep. So I do wish you the best and having a good night.